Chapter 2: Keyword-Driven World. Before we dive further into the concepts and principles that are driving trust and relevancy on the web, we first have to build an understanding for keywords. What are keywords? How are they used? And how can you estimate their potential search traffic? Today, Google's world revolves around keywords. Keywords refer to the word, phrase, or sentence used in online search. A keyword can be a short-tail keyword or a long-tail keyword. The short-tail keywords can be as short as a single word. The long-tail keyword can be as long as a full sentence. What differentiates the two is search volume and competition. Naturally, single-word keywords are going to hold much more competition, but single-word keywords will also be a far less relevant approach to performing your SEO work. For example, the word diet or insurance would be next to impossible to optimize for. Google is using the most trusted listings with the highest page rank and relevance for those search results. The competition there is fierce. Even the keyword weight loss or insurance plans, both of which are short-tail keywords, would also be very hard to optimize for. The goal, of course, is to go after longer specific keywords or long-tail keywords because they will hold the highest relevancy for you and the greatest chance of discoverability. Why is that? Well, in the beginning, your site will be less trusted. Unless you have a domain that's built trust over the years, ranking for shorter keywords will be difficult in the beginning. But long-tail keywords open up a completely new world of discoverability, even for newcomers. The difference between a regular keyword and a long-tail keyword is that a long-tail keyword can be 4 or more words, where the short-tail keyword can be anywhere from a single word to just a few words. In the beginning, your focus should be on long-tail keywords. Long-tail keywords will help you build up some initial presence to your site, even if the search volume might be low. Remember, in the beginning, your ability to rank will be severely limited due to the Google's sandbox. Another important point about short-tail keywords versus long-tail keywords is that although long-tail keywords might have a lower search volume, they do make up a greater portion of Google's daily search activity. 70% of all searches performed are long-tail keyword searches, according to Moz.com. Long-tail keywords are also better at catching people that are in the later stages of the buying cycle. For example, someone searching for car tires might only be browsing, whereas someone searching for best car tires for a 2010 Honda Accord is basically ready to hit the buy button. Can you see the difference here? Think about it yourself. When you search for something on Google with short-tail keywords, you're only browsing. You're looking for information and curious to find data related to your search, but not sure what you want to buy specifically. But if you're searching for best diamond size and clarity for engagement rings, then you're most certainly nearing a decision to purchase. The longer the long-tail keyword is, the more likely you're going to reach those individuals in the buying process. Brainstorming keywords. Your first step to conducting any SEO work is to ensure that you've properly brainstormed your keywords. Whether you're doing work on an authority site or you're doing work on your personal website, brainstorming has to be part of the process every single time. Why is that? The activity of brainstorming helps to transmute ideas from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind. It helps to build links between obscure ideas that might not have once existed before with concrete thoughts that can be immediately acted upon. Brainstorming is also the perfect way to come up with ideas for building out excellent, well-researched content. It will involve a small portion of your time, but the returns for your time invested will be well worth it. So how does this work? Well, if you've never brainstormed before, here's a crash course for you. Pull out a piece of paper and a pen and put on your thinking cap. Set a timer in front of you for 15 minutes and start writing. In the center of the paper, write out your main idea. What's the general topic you're looking to write about? Can't think of it? What industry is your business in? What do you sell? If you sell shoes, then in the center of the page write shoes. Now, even though you sell shoes, that doesn't mean you should restrict your content to only be about shoe sales. Keep in mind that you're trying to target people that want to buy shoes, but you also want to add value to the world in the meantime. So what are some ways that you can add value to the world while still promoting or selling your shoes? Well, let's think about the shoe buying process for a moment. What is that process like for men? What's that process like for women? How does someone go from the idea of a simple shoe to the thought of buying the right shoe for the right occasion at the right time of the year? Well, let's create some branches on that page. We can come up with several ideas here. 1. Shoe types. 2. Shoe colors. 3. Shoe gender. 4. Shoe size. 5. Shoe occasions. 6. Shoe seasons. If we were looking for ways to add value, how would we do it? Well, as we're brainstorming, we can see these various ideas when it comes to shoes in front of us. Shoes and the shoe buying process can be starkly different for men and women. So let's think about how this process goes for one or the other. We can take shoe gender and branch off to male or female. For males, how does that buying process work? Do we wake up one day and think about the fact that we need new shoes? Usually new shoes, for men at least, are considered when an important occasion is nearing or there's a change in occupation or their present shoes are simply falling apart. So how can we help men along this buying process? And how best can we add value at the same time? Well, from the males branch of shoe gender, we can create a few more branches. Those branches can lead to things like new jobs, life events, seasons, and vacations. When we see these branches in front of us and think about the process in this manner, it helps to uncover hidden possibilities that might not have been apparent to us before. Now that we've done some brainstorming on shoes, and we've thought about the shoe buying process, how can we create a few long-tail keywords to summarize our research? Well, here are a few thoughts and ideas of what we can do. 1. Best dress shoes for men. 2. Best winter shoes for men. 3. Best hiking boots for men. 4. Best formal shoes for men. 5. Best beach sandals for men. The list uses the word best in all 5 long-tail keywords. Why use a word like best? Well, when we're searching for the best of something, we're generally ready to buy. We could be searching for the best hairdresser, the best car wash, the best gardener, and so on. We search using the word best when we are ready to take some action and make a purchase. We wouldn't just search for the words dress shoes. We would want to qualify that search if we were serious about it. We might even do something like best dress shoes for men under $100. You get the idea, right? That's why long-tail keywords and the brainstorming process is so important. It helps you to uncover ideas like this that you might not have had before. We could use other words to qualify our search in long-tail keywords as well. We could use words like top, or cheapest, or highest rated, and so on. We are using these words to qualify our search in long-tail keywords because we're ready to make our purchase. Get the idea? It's rather straightforward, but does involve some thought on your part. Of course, the list can go on and on here, but you should come up with 5 or 10 different options that involve long-tail keywords. Once you have your brainstorming session complete and your long-tail keywords, you can head over and start the balance of your research. When you're brainstorming your keywords, keep in mind that you don't have to come up with just one idea. You can branch out and think about your business or your topic from multiple perspectives, and not just a sales perspective. For example, you might want to think about the industry that you're in. In this case, it would be the apparel industry. You might also want to think about the customer demographic, whoever that might be. You can also think about the sales climate or the leading distributors in the business. This could lead to multiple scenarios that you might not have thought about from the outset. It could lead to doing research into the sales cycle of shoes, where they are most typically purchased from, how much someone typically spends on them, and so on. You can use this data to put together a nice infographic, a video tutorial, or some other how-to guide. Don't be afraid to go out there and explore, even if you're moving off on a tangent. That's the great part about brainstorming. The unfortunate truth is that most people skip this step entirely. I wouldn't recommend doing that at all. If you're going to write a post that adds value, and not one that just wants to sell something to someone, you have to brainstorm the ideas first. The mind has a funny way of transmuting subconscious thoughts onto paper when it's ready to do so. If you simply think about concepts in the abstract and don't actually apply the act of brainstorming, you might never come up with a brilliant idea that will lead to tons of traffic. Remember, your goal here is to add value. Google wants to see you adding an exceedingly high amount of value in whatever you do. Don't be afraid to dig your heels in, do the research, and put some considerable thought and effort into what you want to write about. Even if you're just writing an article about the best dress shoes for men, you won't just be trying to sell shoes. You will literally seek out and find the best and highest rated dress shoes there are for men. Compare and contrast them. What sets them apart? What are the positives and negatives of both? You see, you're adding value. And if you're in the shoe business, then you're most likely an authority on shoes. So writing out a list of the best dress shoes for men shouldn't be a major hurdle for you. You're adding value to the world, and selling will just be a secondary notion. Brainstorming with Google Trends. A great tool to use while brainstorming for your keyword ideas is to use Google Trends. This helps bring insight into what people are searching for out there. You can find trends by year, by country, by topic, by people, by image, and so on. You can use Google Trends to see what's been popular in the last year when it came to searches in your field or industry. Which searches made it to the top of the list? Can that give you some insight into what people are interested in finding out? Google Trends isn't the only answer to your brainstorming needs, but it can help to stimulate the mind to think about areas that you might not have considered before. It's also a great tool to use when you're looking to create content that is time-sensitive and you want to rank now. Often you might find Google Trends for keywords that presently have a low search competition but a high search volume. This is a great way to appear relevant at the top, since not many people were vying for that search term in the past. If you can combine a Google trend with a long-tail keyword, then that's even better. You have to get creative at times in order to push the envelope and find ways to do things that you might not have thought of earlier in the game. So, use this tool to scour out some additional avenues of content that you might consider distributing out there. If nothing else, it should help to get the juices flowing to enhance your brainstorming activities. To use Google Trends, simply head to google.com/trends, where you can explore the many varieties that Google gives you for discovering what's hot in search now and in the past. This should give you a general idea on where search trends might be heading, and allow you to capitalize on that by building out some great high-value unique content. Researching keywords. Researching doesn't end with brainstorming. In fact, it just begins. The goal for brainstorming is to come up with an array of ideas that can be used while researching keywords. When we talk about research, we're actually referring to the hard numbers. What does that mean? Well, what we want to find out is just how popular a given search term is going to be. How many people are searching for your long-tail keyword? Is there heavy competition, or is it marginal? Now, the tool used for doing this is called the Keyword Planner tool, and it comes from the search giant itself. But the Keyword Planner tool is really a tool that is meant for advertisers that are looking to place ads on Google's network, so it has its limitations. However, even though it's a tool for advertisers, it does offer some of the best insights into searches being conducted on Google in real time. Specifically, the important insights lay within the competition field and search volumes. When you conduct a search using the Keyword Planner tool, Google presents you with a variety of results along with the level of competition and the number of global monthly searches. It can also present you with a number of similar search results. So let's see just how this works. Point your browser to adwords.google.com/keyword planner, or simply Google Keyword Planner Tool and click on the first result. When you get to the screen, it will ask you to sign into your AdWords account. If you don't have an AdWords account, you can set one up. It won't cost you anything, but you will need a Google account to get this going. When you get to the Keyword Planner page, you'll have 4 different options on what to do next. 1. Search for new keywords and ad group ideas. 2. Get search volume for a list of keywords or group them into ad groups. 3. Get traffic forecasts for a list of keywords. 4. Multiple keyword lists to get new keyword ideas. Keyword Planner. Plan your next search campaign. What would you like to do? Search for new keyword and ad group ideas? Get search volume for a list of keywords or group them into ad groups. Get traffic estimates for a list of keywords. Multiply keyword lists to get new keyword ideas. Now, since we've already done our research and we've created a list of long-tail keywords, we would select the second option on the list, get search volume for a list of keywords or group them into ad groups. This will allow us to just copy and paste our brainstorming keywords into the Keyword Planner. But you can also select the first option if you want to start a search from scratch. For example, if you want to search for new keywords, you could find out what Google has in mind or would suggest to you. The first option will allow you to use a variety of targeting methods for your keyword, which are rather self-explanatory. For now, let's focus on the second option. After clicking on it, you'll find a box for entering in your keywords. You can enter them in one line at a time, or by using commas to separate each keyword. You could also upload a CSV file of a list of keywords if you're so inclined. The other options include targeting and date range. These are pre-filled in for you, but you could modify those selections. For example, the default is targeting all locations, but you could target only a specific location if you're offering a local service, for example. The negative keywords option is only something to consider if you're actually running ads on Google. Why is that? Well, when you advertise on AdWords, you have the option of doing broad matches, phrase matches, or exact matches. Depending on the type of match you're performing, you could receive paid search traffic that doesn't apply to your offerings. In this case, you can use negative keywords to avoid that from happening. But since we're focusing on organic search and specific long-tail keywords here, you don't have to worry about that now. I would recommend initially leaving all targeting options at their default selections and simply pasting in your list of long-tail keywords. Now, what you might find is that you get 0 results for your long-tail keywords. Why is that? Well, keep in mind that this tool is meant for advertisers on Google's AdWords platform. It's not meant as a way to get the search volume and competition for every single keyword. This is the drawback behind the system. In the past, it was far easier to see search volumes and competition, but all that has now changed. You can, of course, shorten your keywords to estimate traffic for short-tail keywords, but that won't help you in your approach to SEO. Your focus should remain on long-tail keywords. Focus on phrases and sentences that you think would be popular questions in your field. But let's say for a moment that we don't get any results when we paste in our long-tail keywords. What else can we do? Well, we can continue brainstorming to come up with new ideas, or even start to type keywords into Google's search bar so that we can see them from its auto-suggestion tool. You've undoubtedly used the auto-suggestion many times in the past. When you begin to type in best dress shoes, for example, and hit the space bar, you're presented with a number of the top suggestions for searches that are being performed on Google for this particular term. Unfortunately, these are not ordered by the most searches down to the least searches. No, Google keeps us guessing with that, but we could type these terms into the Keyword Planner tool to complete our research. So as you can see from the following list, Here's what we get when we type in best dress shoes, then add a space to see what Google suggests. 1. Best dress shoes, short tail keyword. 2. Best dress shoes for men, long tail keyword. 3. Best dress shoes for plantar fasciitis. 4. Best dress shoes for flat feet. 5. Best dress shoes under 200. 6. Best dress shoes for walking. As you can see by the list that we generated using Google's auto-suggestion tool, there are plenty of options for writing great content. Additionally, it might present you with ideas that you might not have considered earlier during your brainstorming session. For example, number 3 on the list talks about plantar fasciitis, or jogger's heel, a condition that develops as a result of usually over-exercising from weight or age. We certainly see an idea here for writing a post that contains massive value by not only breaking down this ailment, but also in analyzing shoes from this perspective. Which dress shoes for men are the best for those affected with jogger's heel? The 4th result talks about flat feet. That's another great idea for a post. What are the best dress shoes for men who have flat feet? These long-tail keywords are excellent for ranking quickly on Google's SERPs. But the content has to be great, so always keep that in mind. Now, getting back to our original list, let's first see what kind of results we come up with. Remember, auto-suggestion is a great tool to do if your original list brings back no results. But our original list will have some results. So, just to remind you, here's what we had before. 1. Best dress shoes for men. 2. Best winter shoes for men. 3. Best hiking boots for men. 4. Best formal shoes for men. 5. Best beach sandals for men. When we conduct our search using the long-tail keywords through the Keyword Planner, our results indicate the number of monthly searches being performed, plus the level of competition. For the search results, we can see that through the Keyword Planner that best dress shoes for men is a relatively popular search with around 1,900 searches per month and high competition. This was reinforced by Google's auto-suggestion. Again, the competition level applies to advertisers that are looking to buy ads for this keyword. Still, it does give you a sense of the search volume and how competitive searches are for this long-tail keyword search. Although high competition here doesn't necessarily equate to high competition in organic search results, the two usually end up being relatively similar. The understanding here is that advertisers that are looking to compete heavily on certain keyword searches through Google's AdWords are doing so because the organic search is also very competitive and hard to rank for. For this reason, advertisers are also going after paid search. However, this still hinders our ability to truly have X-ray vision into Google's results. How are we supposed to work on optimizing keywords and searches for long-tail keywords when we don't know precisely how competitive organic searches are as opposed to paid searches? Unfortunately, Google doesn't provide a tool for allowing us to peer into the inner workings of their organic search. That's the core reason why Google is, well, Google. Some things simply can't be revealed to the public for fear of abuse to the system. As you now know, Google already went through a major ordeal to clean up its SERPs due to black hat SEOs and thin content sites that were primarily seeking to rank by utilizing virtually any means that were available to them. For that reason, and many other reasons, Google just doesn't want to reveal too much. However, we can use other tools to glean some more information from Google's SERPs. Although in a perfect world, Google would be more transparent, there are some next best solutions. One of those next best solutions is the SEO Quake plugin tool. I've spoken about this tool before in the past, and I believe in it a great deal. It's an excellent resource for determining your chances of ranking for a particular keyword search by displaying some important information. The information that SEO Quake reveals allows us to get a better sense of a web page's authority and age, two of the core components in Google's pyramid of trust. SEO Quake plugin. The SEO Quake plugin helps people peer into Google's search results to see what's going on behind the scenes. This is helpful from a trust perspective because it displays just how Google sees the listings on its SERPs. We can leverage this information by conducting searches on Google for our long-tail keywords, then analyzing the search results. I'll show you just how to determine how difficult it will be to rank for a particular search using this exact method. So how does this work? Well, the first step is to download and install the SEO Quake plugin tool. However, one quick suggestion: I don't recommend doing this on your primary browser. For example, if you use Chrome as your primary browser, download and install this on Firefox. If you use Firefox, do it on Chrome, and so on. Ensuring that you don't use this on your primary browser is important. SEO Quake adds extraneous data into every search that you conduct on Google, and sometimes slows your searches down. It's great for the purpose of keyword research, but not so great for everyday usage. Now let's head back and conduct those long-tail keyword searches while using the SEO Quake plugin tool. But what information, particularly, is this tool going to give us? Well, it's going to show us just how trusted Google deems a particular listing. Also, a note before you start: you can turn on and off different settings for the SEO Quake plugin tool from the Preferences menu for the extension in the browser. After using the tool on a few searches, you might come to find certain factors more important than others. When we conduct a search for the first one of our long-tail keywords, namely best dress shoes for men, we get a set of results that displays standard SERP listings. We get a set of results that displays standard SERP listings. In the results set, we can see the listings, but also under each listing we see a bar with some statistics and data. We can see the PR, or page rank of a page, its Alexa ranking, the number of Twitter tweets to the domain, number of Facebook shares for that page, number of Google Plus ones for that page, and also link to some Whois data to help us determine the site's age. The top 5 listings, which are displayed in the preceding image, can give you an indication of the difficulty to rank for this long-tail keyword. One important thing to note here is that Google will type out the words used to fetch its results in bold format. 1. Men's shoes, spring 2015, best dress and casual, Esquire. 2. The best men's dress shoes under $200 of 2015, Dappered. 3. The best dress shoes for men, Men's Health. 4. The GQ Guide to Men's Shoes, GQ.com. 5. The best leather dress shoes that will last the longest. So when we're looking at the top result, for example, we can see that the title is Men's Shoes Spring 2015 Best Dress and Casual. The description has bold lettering for the words Best Men's Shoes. It's clear that Google is using these main words to fetch these results. You can also see the bold letters for the words in the link itself. Google is highlighting the words men's shoes in that first link. But let's see what else is important here. We can see the page rank identified by the PR symbol with a number next to it. Now, the PR here refers to the page rank of that particular page, and not of the entire site. We see that the first listing has a PR of NA, and so do the second and third listings, which is almost the same as 0. And the fourth has a PR of 4, while the fifth has a PR of 5. Now, how is it that a PR of NA or 0 is ranking above a PR of 4? Also, how is it that a PR of 4 is ranking above a PR of 5? This is where the over 200 factors in Google's new Post Hummingbird would come into play in its online search. If you take a closer look at the first listing, you'll see that it has an Alexa ranking of 3505, symbolized by the A icon. The Alexa ranking is a categorization of all of the websites on the Internet into chronological order. With Alexa, number 1 is the most popular site in the world, and the numbering goes up from there. What you'll also see here is that the third listing has an Alexa ranking of 3182, which is higher than the ranking of the first listing at 3505, yet it remains in the third position. You can also see that it has 662 Facebook shares of that page as opposed to the number 1 spot's paltry 7 shares. What else can we see here? Well, one of the major factors that comes into play when we're discussing authority are the number of links to a page and to the domain. You can see these by turning on the SEMrush links and SEMrush link domain parameters in the preferences for SEO Quake. The L and the LD for links to the page and links to the domain represent those two pieces of information respectively. The reason listing number 1 is appearing before number 3, even though the page rank is nominal or non-existent for both, has to do with the other factors that are involved. Why? As we can see, listing number 3 has more links to its domain. In fact, it has 666,931 links to its domain, as opposed to 288,322 for listing number 1. Now, you can imagine that the competition here is fierce, and you'll be hard-pressed to rank for this organic search. But what still remains to be seen is why listing number 1 is ranking ahead of listing number 3. Well, in this instance, age is most likely the deciding factor. Since the content is thin on both sites, the other trust factors come into play in order to help provide the deciding factor. One piece of information that you can't garner from these listings is just how good the content is that's written on the listing's respective pages. Unless, of course, you go read each listing's content, which might pose as useful to you, you'll be unable to determine how good they are. Of course, another piece of very useful information is the whois data, which will tell us the domain's age. As you'll recall, domain age is just one of the trust components involved in the pyramid of trust that Google relies on to help rank listings. Listing number 1 was registered in 1994, whereas listing number 3 was first registered in 1995. As you can see by all of this, SEO Quake can prove to be a very useful tool for us as we're conducting our SEO activities and determining whether we can rank for a particular search. So what does that tell us about this search? Well, Google is using Hummingbird here to find similar listings that it already trusts, since it's not displaying any listings that match this exact long-tail keyword search. What this also tells you is that you have a small chance to rank on the first page of Google's SERPs for this long-tail keyword. The competition for this search is fierce, because as you move down the list, you'll see that each of the SERP listings have a huge number of links going to their domains, making them incredibly popular. Unless you dish out an extraordinary piece of content on an authority site, ranking for this search will be hard. So what are you supposed to do? Well, your next task is to try conducting your SEO Quake research using the auto-suggestions as well. What do the top results look like for those searches? What are your chances of ranking high for one of Google's auto-suggestions that you uncovered? This isn't an exact science by any means, but it is a way to make an educated guess on where to spend your time. Keep in mind that the content writing is going to be an exhaustive endeavor for you, so be sure that your limited resource of time is focused in the right direction.